Imagine walking onto Venus and meeting a human who no longer even looks human. Armor-like skin, acid-proof eyes, and a face that seems forged from metal. Or stepping onto Jupiter to see people built like tanks, short but powerful enough to crush steel with their bare hands. Today we're answering a mind-bending question. If humans lived on every planet in our solar system and adapted naturally to survive there, what would we look like? Get ready. Because by the end of this journey, you'll realize just how alien we could become. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, and it's extreme in every way. Scorching days that reach 430 degrees Celsius and freezing nights that drop to minus 180 degrees Celsius. Humans here would evolve into heat and cold masters. Their skin would be jet black and reflective, able to resist intense ultraviolet radiation. They'd likely hibernate in deep rock shelters during the day to avoid burning alive, then emerge at night to hunt or work before temperatures plummet. Their eyes would be thin, narrow slits, a natural sun visor, and sweat glands would disappear entirely to conserve precious water. Their blood would carry proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming so they wouldn't freeze instantly at night. These people would look like statues of obsidian, still and unmoving under the blistering sun, only shifting when shadows give them life again. Venus is a nightmare, the hottest planet in our system, hotter even than Mercury, with a crushing atmosphere and acid rain strong enough to melt metal. Humans here would become short and stocky, built for endurance under immense atmospheric pressure. Their skin would be fused with natural ceramic-like plates, resistant to both acid and heat, making them look as though they were wearing armor at all times. Lungs would shrink, paired with complex natural filters to extract oxygen from the toxic carbon dioxide soup. Eyes would have transparent acid eyelids, allowing them to see even in storms without burning their corneas. Breathing the air would be like inhaling poison, but for these people it would be normal. We Earth humans are soft by comparison. Pink skin, fragile bones, dependent on technology to survive even minor environmental changes. In the grand scale of adaptation, we are the weakest of the planetary species you'll see today. And if any of them came here, they'd think of Earth as a paradise. No acid rain, no storms that rip steel apart, no temperatures that burn or freeze flesh in seconds. Mars is dry, cold, and bathed in radiation from the sun. Over generations, humans here would evolve thick, rust-colored skin, not from sunburn, but from protective pigments blending with the red dust. They'd have enormous lungs for pulling in thin air and high, barrel-shaped chests to hold it. Because of low gravity, Martians would grow tall and slender, their legs long and spring-like, perfect for covering large distances with minimal effort. Their eyes would be slightly larger to gather more light, and they might develop a second transparent eyelid to protect from sandstorms. Living here would mean never knowing warmth without fire. So the people of Mars would have evolved bodies that hold heat like a furnace. If Jupiter had a solid surface and humans somehow survived there, the planet's crushing gravity would make tallness impossible. These people would be short and massively built, walking fortresses with bones as dense as lead. A Jovian human might weigh 5 times more than an Earth human of the same height, packed with muscle to move under the extreme pull. Hearts would be enormous, their beats slow but powerful enough to pump blood against constant pressure. Moving fast would be impossible, but their raw power would be unmatched. A handshake from a Jupiter human could snap your bones without trying. Saturn's cold, stormy atmosphere would produce humans with thick, insulating layers beneath pale, almost glowing skin. They'd be taller than Jovians, as gravity is weaker here, and they'd have enormous eyes adapted to the dim light. Their bones would be lighter, giving them a graceful but eerie movement, as if they were gliding. Clothing wouldn't be necessary, their bodies would naturally repel freezing winds. These ice titans would be ghostly in appearance, towering figures that seem to float through Saturn's endless clouds. Uranus rotates on its side, creating decades-long seasons of sunlight and darkness. Humans here would adapt to these extreme cycles with a biological hibernation mode, able to slow their metabolism for years at a time. Their skin would have a pale blue-green tint, reflecting the planet's methane-rich skies. Bodies would be heavy in the torso for fat storage and short-limbed to preserve heat. During the long day, they'd be active hunters and builders. During the decades-long night, they'd vanish underground, sleeping away the darkness. Neptune is home to the fastest winds in the solar system, over 2,000 kilometers per hour. Humans here would need ultra-low aerodynamic profiles to avoid being torn apart. They'd be short, with muscular, compact builds and leathery, ice-resistant skin. Faces would be flat and recessed, protecting them from constant ice shard impacts, and limbs would be powerful for clinging to rock and ice in storms. Their movements would be slow but deliberate, every step calculated against the deadly wind. On Pluto, sunlight is so faint that daytime looks like twilight. Humans here would be pale and rubber-skinned for insulation, with large black eyes for capturing every photon of light. They'd move slowly to conserve energy, their blood thick with anti-freeze-like compounds to prevent freezing. Life would be quiet, patient, and deliberate. A people who could outwait any storm, living in ice caves and only venturing outside for brief moments before the cold becomes deadly. From obsidian-skinned sun children to acid-armored Venusians and storm-hardened Neptunians, humans would transform into something almost unrecognizable, but still carry the one trait we all share: the instinct to survive. Which planet's humans do you think would be the most terrifying to meet? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because the universe is full of impossible questions, and we're just getting started.